Hi, my name is Devon Boorman. I'm the Director and Master Instructor of Academie Duello Center for Swordplay in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I have been practicing martial arts of various sorts for most of my life. In particular, I've been doing European martial arts for about the last 27 years. I started in reenactment, and then I've moved into the broader historical European martial arts community, really in earnest about 20 years ago. I have worked with everything from rapiers to swords and shields to two-handed swords, as well as spears and staves. And I have just a simple staff that I use for practicing at home. But I'm going to show a technique for the spear that I really love. And it can be done with much more substantial spears than this. In fact, a lot of the spears I work with are half again my height in length. And this is a deception that draws the opponent low so that you can open them up into the high line, which is useful against anybody with sword and shield, with another spear, or with a longsword. So simply, I'll give you this first kind of the simplest version of this. I'm standing here in a position where I have my spear presented, and I'm going to make a threat towards the leg, and I'm going to spiral up to the face. So that's the essence of the technique. I threaten towards the leg by spiraling the weapon and extending it, doing a little slide in the hands. And these sliding strikes in Italian are called slanciata, means essentially sliding strike. So I'm going to slide a little bit of a threat, and as they drop down with their defense, before it crosses my weapon, I'm going to lift up in front of it and strike into their face with this lunging step. If they do happen to make a strike against your weapon, then I'll recover it back to this position. So taking that energy and catching it back here. So I'm, again, well covered if they're trying to enter. So threaten, spiral, threaten, spiral. And this can be done with a hesitation, threat, spiral, or it can be done smoothly, threat, spiral. Now, it can be useful sometimes to start in this position. So I can start low already and make my threat just with this extension of the hands. Slight shift, but not very much. I don't want to give away my body. So threaten and up. Here, threaten and up. Smoothly, threaten up. It can also be done from a cutting spear position like this, where I'm holding the weapon in the middle. This is a position that I might be seeking to strike blows against my opponent. So I can start here, and I can come as if I were striking a blow into their leg, or I think even better, a little bit of distance, threaten with that thrust, spiral up on the pass. So again, threaten, spiral. Threaten, spiral. So seeing this toward you, here, threaten, spiral up. Threaten, spiral up. Starting already low, threat, up. Threat, up. Cutting spear position. Threaten, up. Whoop, ha. Threaten and up. Same thing on this opposite side here. Threaten, spiral up. Threaten, spiral up. Starting low. Threaten, spiral up. Threaten, spiral up. Cutting spear. Threat, up. Threat, up. Note when I'm coming from that cutting spear position, I'm here in the middle, but as I'm dropping the point, I'm shifting my hand so that I have the most maximal length for making that threat and spiraling into the attack. Now, it's going to be most useful against somebody who drops if they're using a spear, who's inclined to drop their spear without protecting their head. Same thing with somebody with a sword and shield, who's inclined to drop their weapons to make that defense of the leg. But it can be useful even if somebody's more inclined to pull their leg away, which is certainly a better defense. I might do this in a multi-part where I strike towards the head, threaten the leg, then come back high. And in that way, I'll get them thinking about using their weapon throughout each of those intentions. So I recommend using this against any of those types of opponents. And if you are facing somebody who's doing this type of deception, the most important thing is to make sure that whenever you defend your legs, you do it in a way that is also defending your head. So if I'm going to commit a weapon low, I'll generally keep my shield high if I'm fighting with a shield. So I'm going to commit to defend low with the weapon. I generally won't drop like my shield low because it's much harder to bring it back up, and the sword is going to be a little more easily deceived. So that's the core of being able to defend yourself against this. It's a very straightforward technique, but super effective. Hope you enjoy it.